Hey guys and gals, Demox7643. So today I wanted to showcase how you can save your Watt and your Thrawn and still utilize your Vader with your Triumvirate and Emperor to overkill some Padme teams for your guild in Territory War. Basically, you only need to win 4 or 5 fights, right? Plus your 2 fleet wins, and everything else is good. So in order to achieve that, like this particular Territory War, I have a situation where my guild has a pretty overwhelming advantage, so I don't mind using my Vader here instead of trying to counter, a GL with him. So I can showcase this just at how really very, very easy and very high percentage that this counter actually is once you have your characters set up for it. 2 of these characters are Gear 12, Nihilus and Traya. And this is a fully relicked out Padme team in Territory War. So for me, the most important thing is when I attack that I get a 20. If at all possible, I want those 20s. And so this team is one that gets them a lot. A lot. And so, yes, you are using Vader. It is overkill. But the point is to showcase this counter to my guild so that maybe some lesser modded players or somebody that just is very inexperienced with killing Padme can take a team in with confidence and know that as long as they understand a few simple concepts, they're going to come away with the W more often than not. So, I guess without any further ado, we're going to just do move order quickly. And so we start with a Force Crush here. And the reason for that is the Emperor lead grants turn meter when you land debuffs. So he is going to effectively get a free turn. And then we want to ability block GK. And I just spread basics around the field. And then I'm going to Force Crush on Shakti there. Now, I could have tried to cull Anakin here, but for this video, I wanted to showcase what happens when they survive. So I went all the way around the horn, and I just want to show that it doesn't matter. Relic 8 Anakins are a thing. They're out here. And so you got to be prepared to not be able to cull them out on that first shot. Also, there's the chance that you could critically hit Anakin on the first Force Crush if you're modded for a lot of crit chance, and so you're going to end up pulling a critical hit immunity regardless. So for this exercise, I wanted to show you just a very simple move order where we're trying to assume that Anakin will survive the initial onslaught. We want to give him a turn, and his turn isn't going to matter. And why is that? Because Nihilus is along. The way that this plays out, there are so many opportunities to get a single debuff on an enemy here that I have not seen it in my personal experience ever where somebody doesn't have a debuff by the time Nihilus gets a chance to drain cooldowns there. And he always gets a chance to move before my opponents do, as long as my Vader is out in front of them. And so it's kind of neat. You can see that, both Snips and Shakti and maybe even GK might move before my Nihilus would under normal circumstances. But what's going to happen here is you pass out ability blocks, you Force Crush, Anakin survives the initial onslaught, and then you're going to strip the critical hit immunity here with Sion, and then you're going to stun, which doesn't have to hit here. The important thing is this move here. Drain the cooldowns of everybody on the field. That means nobody is cleansing, nobody is healing, nobody's doing anything, and they can't stop it because they're all debuffed. And so the stun really doesn't matter there. They're going to basic into you, and they'll take a little bit of protection, yes. So I guess there is that. But for Territory War, we don't care. GAC, it matters a little bit more. But I digress. Everybody has their cooldowns reduced by Nihilus there before they get their next turn. So they're all going to be using basics. And GK was ability blocked besides. So you're able to go around the horn, spread out some debuffs, and then everybody just falls over. Now, we're going to back this up one more time just after this Force Crush. Right here, you can see Anakin has no critical hit immunity. So, I mean, I considered culling him here, but that's not a good example for my guild of worst case scenario. We need to pretend that he has critical hit immunity right now because you Force Crushed. So that is why we don't cull him right away. We just go around the horn, and we showcase that after the cull in Vader's turn, that Anakin is still alive. And this is why it doesn't matter again. Sion cleanses the buff immunity, and then we're able to get offense up, and we're able to drain cooldowns before anybody gets a turn. I see GK is clean there. He didn't get stunned, right? And he's still going to get his turn eventually, but he has ability block, and everybody has their cooldowns drained here. And they can't resist it because they're all debuffed. They all at least have one debuff, so that's a guarantee. And that is why this works. So, I mean, even if they weren't stunned, they're all just going to basic. And you don't care about basics that much. Everybody here can take a hit. And by the time that somebody dies, all that luscious turn meter from all the debuffs gets applied as they expire by killing the opponent, and you just landslide through them. Now, I do kill Padme first here. I could have cleansed off that retribution over on Shakti, but I knew that my call was coming. And so your second hit on Padme there would kill her, so I didn't cull her. I called Shakti instead, and that's that. So feel free to utilize this for your guild if you just want to use your DR, BSF, GBA, thrawn, Watt counter to kill a Ray, or if you want to throw in solo there and kill an SLKR or something like that, you can really get it done very, very, very easily. So that's one way to do it. Save your thrawn, save your Watt, move on. So I suppose we'll just leave it with this. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. The likes and the subscribes are appreciated, but more than anything, I just want to find out if this just works for me or if in fact it was like the easiest thing ever for you and you're able to have success, because really that's what's gonna be the difference between me leaving this up or just taking it down saying, oh, look at that, everybody else's Vader's awful and they keep failing when they try it. But I just don't see it happening based on my experience. So good luck with the counter. I appreciate each and every one of you, and until the next video, Penny out.